Under 19 SG Ball and Tasha Gale Cup begins in New South Wales this weekend. So this is New South Wales Under 19 Rugby League, and the Warriors have an SG Ball team, and they are first SG Ball team of the year. You should sign up to our newsletter, thenichecache.substack.com, which always has a bunch of Kiwi NRL notes, and probably every Friday we'll be dropping notes that I have for the junior teams named. Don't go below under 19s because that just gets a bit iffy. So we just stick it to the under 19 level and above. And of course, we've got the Warriors SG Ball team. They are taking on Manly Sea Eagles in Sydney. First thing for the Warriors is that Kahu Kappa starts at centre and Augustino Filippo starts at lock. They both had train and trial contracts. So they've been basically training with the NRL squad. Now they're back down to under 19s where they will be starting players for the SG Ball team. Kahu Kappa, I believe, is a Western Suburbs junior from Taranaki in the New Plymouth, and Augustino Filippo is a Mangarees junior in Auckland. There's also Mahana Pauling from St. Thomas of Canterbury. He is starting at fullback, and we have Isaiah Savia starting at hooker. He is also from St. Thomas of Canterbury, and there are two notable hookers from Canterbury in the Warriors system, assuming that Makai Tafua, he is, because he had a train and trial contract. So Makai Tafua is looking to get a lot more New South Wales Cup game time this year, but there's also Isaiah Savia starting at hooker for the Warriors SG Ball team. And in the halves, we've got Maui Winatana Patalaseo, who is from Wellington, Te Aroha Jr. He is starting halfback. He played a bunch of SG Ball and Jersey Flegg Cup games last year, with Noah Jensen starting number 6. So, like, what's one of the main Warriors storylines I've had over the past couple of years?
Aussie halves.
Aussie halves, but there's no Aussie halves in the Warriors SG Ball team. They're two Kiwi lads, Maui Winatana Patalaseo from Wellington and Noah Jensen, who I would like to learn a little bit more about. He is at Westlake Boys High School, or he was, or he may still be. And I believe I think he's a Glenfield junior. Not confident about that, not saying that with my chest just yet, but he's definitely at Westlake Boys High School, and he played league at Westlake Boys High School during the National Secondary Schools tournament. So he is starting number 6. Maui Winatana Patalaseo is starting number 7. The dudes who I think we had who played Jersey Flegg last year, I think we have Winatana Patalaseo, we have Filippo, and Hiraka Waitai Haenga, who is from Hamilton Boys High School, and he is named on the bench having been a centre for the SG Ball, maybe even the Jersey Flegg Warriors last year. So it's an interesting move for him on the bench, having been a very dynamic centre. So I'm curious to see what his role might be moving forward. I do like those powerful outside backs getting a bit more game time in the forward pack. That is always something I watch out for. So Waitai Haenga played 2 games of Jersey Flegg last year. Filippo played 4. Winatana Patalaseo played 13. And Paia Sikuvea played 4. We've got the Sikuvea brothers in the starting team. Paia Jr. and Mili Toni Molela Sikuvea. I believe they are both Mangarees juniors. So Paia Sikuvea is starting prop, and Militoni Molela is starting edge forward. So those are the main things that stand out to me with the first Warriors under-19 team of the season. Again, the fact that Kahu Kappa and Filippo had train and trial contracts suggests that they have the highest upside of these players. And that means that they could play New South Wales Cup this year. Then you've also got 3 other dudes who played under 21s last year in Paisukavea, Winitana Patalaseo, and who else did I say? Waitai Hainga. So those are probably the main dudes to watch out for. But of course, this is the Kiwi NRL segment. And so we've got a lot of Kiwi NRL juniors and men and women floating around the rest of these Australian teams. So I just want to focus on 3 pockets. And this is not to discuss everyone, because I don't know everyone. This is the learning stage, and we're just learning about the young men and women from Aotearoa who are playing footy over in Australia. And these are just things that stand out to me with the first round of team lists, which includes the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, who love Aotearoa. The women's team, the Tasha Gale Cup team for the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, this is under 19s. They have Shaquela Mahakito Monshel, who is the starting halfback for the Bulldogs, under 19s. And I think she's also got an NRLW contract. She is, it's a bit confusing, so bear with me. Her auntie is Shanice Monshel, who is also in the Bulldogs NRLW squad. But Shaquela's younger sister is Lanaya Daniel, who is starting edge forward for the Bulldogs in Tasha Gale Cup. So the Bulldogs under-19 women's team has Shaquela Mahakito Monshel starting halfback and Lanaya Daniel starting edge forward. Both of them, to the best of my knowledge, went to Waitakere College, and then I think they had a year or 2 with St. Peter's Cambridge, primarily for netball. But they are, I think they're pretty hearty Waitakere College, West Auckland folks. So that's good for the Bulldogs. Shout out to the Bulldogs and their love of Aotearoa. I'll update that in a jiffy. The Cronulla Sharks under-19 women's team has Aliana Tonuu, who is a Otara junior. And she was playing for the Manly Sea Eagles New South Wales Women's Premiership team last year. So that was part of a big group of young ladies from Auckland who were in the Manly Sea Eagles New South Wales Women's Premiership squad. And now Aliana Tonuu is starting prop for the Cronulla Sharks. We also have Illawara. Big derby for you. We've got Illawara versus St. George Dragons in the Tasha Gale Cup. The Illawara team has Seriah Palepale starting prop, and there's also Trinity Tauaneai, who is named on the bench. She's probably too good for that because I think she's already got an NRLW development contract. Seriah Palepale is a Mangarees junior, and she and Tauaneai, Trinity Tauaneai, were in the Australian schoolgirls team last year. I think they both played junior footy for the Bulldogs. It might have been their championship winning under 17 team last year off the top of my head. And now they're both lining up for Illawara. So Trinity Tauaneai, she might still be aligned with the Dragons NRLW squad. Because, of course, Alexis Tauaneai Wainuiamata Jr., along with Trinity, Alexis has moved from the Dragons to the Bulldogs NRLW squad. So the Bulldogs do a lot of recruitment from Aotearoa. They keep building. They've actually, I wrote about this last week, they have a full-on accommodation setup that is is solely made up of young ladies from Auckland and Aotearoa, and they've got a house mum there looking after them. So that's how deep the Bulldogs' investment in women's pipeline from Aotearoa goes. We know about the men. We know they've been busy recruiting from Aotearoa on the men's side, but they're doing the same thing on the women's side. It just gets a bit funky because they didn't have an NRLW team. Now they do have an NRLW team, and a lot of their young women from Aotearoa are progressing through that pipeline straight into the NRLW mix. But Palepale and Trinity Tauaneai were initially recruited by the Bulldogs, but now they're both playing for Illawara, and I think they might be aligned with the Dragons. Because there's also a Bulldogs under-19 team, so why wouldn't they be playing for the Bulldogs under-19 team if their future laid with the Bulldogs later this year? So it's something to watch out for, but they're both in the Illawara under-19 women's team. Kiwi NRL junior pockets on the SG Ball men's side, we have the Cronulla Sharks, who do love a bit of Aotearoa as well. They have the Blackburn Kingy brothers, who may also be twin brothers. I'm not sure just yet. They are from the Manawatu. I think they went to Manukura, and I think it is Fielding, but they were recruited by the Sharks to go to school in Australia. So there's a couple of yarns that are behind paywalls, but there's a couple of yarns from Australia talking them up, and they're both now in the Cronulla Sharks SG Ball team. We have Dallas Blackburn Kingy on the wing, and Hemi Blackburn Kingy is number 17 on the bench. The Sharks also have Elijah Paya, who is a Otara junior. And he went to De La Salle College. And they also have Hudson Frost, Elijah Paya is starting on the wing, and Hudson Frost is starting prop for the Cronulla Sharks, having also come out of De La Salle College, and he is an Otahuhu junior who won an award for the Warriors last year. Let me confirm this award. Under 17 Clubman of the Year, Hudson Frost. Which gets a little bit more interesting. So that's Cronulla Sharks. Cronulla Sharks, to the best of my knowledge, I've got 4 notable Kiwi NRL juniors in that Cronulla Sharks team. Another award winner from the Warriors under-17 team last year was Carwyn Patterson, who also went to Westlake Boys High School. I think he's originally from Dargaville. He was the winner of the under-17 Player of the Year. Now, he is starting hooker for the Bulldogs. So he is one of many or a few Kiwi NRL juniors in the Bulldogs SG Ball team. He is starting hooker. We've got Sasaya Alatini starting edge forward. I think Sasaya Alatini will be playing New South Wales Cup at some point later this year. He was either train and trial or development for the Bulldogs NRL squad. The Bulldogs have also named Bronson Rubin in the halves. He's a youngster from Kaiapoi and Canterbury Rugby League. He is number 6. And there's also Genesis Arkham Sherlock, who is a Linwood junior from Canterbury as well. So there is that Canterbury connection there with the Bulldogs, with 3 of their 4 notable Kiwi NRL juniors that I just named coming out of Canterbury. Sherlock is a Linwood junior. Ruben's technically it's the Northern Bulldogs, but they're from Kaiapoi. And also Sasai Alatini, who is a Hornby junior. Aside from I mentioned Cronulla Sharks twice. I mentioned, so both Cronulla Sharks under-19 teams, a couple of notable youngsters from Aotearoa, but not quite as many as the Bulldogs. But I did mention both Bulldogs teams, so that gives you an insight into the Australian NRL teams who love Aotearoa. The Cronulla Sharks and the Bulldogs love Aotearoa. But the funkiest wrinkle, I think, of them all is the Newcastle Knights. Their starting halves combination for their under-19 SG ball team, 2 lads from Aotearoa. We got Haami Loza, who is a high-profile youngster coming through the Knights system. He's played for Otara and Mangere East in junior footy. I think he went to De La Salle College as well. He is the starting halfback. I think he had a train and trial contract with the NRL squad. I expect him to play at least under-21s later this year, perhaps pushing for New South Wales Cup. But he is now being joined by Ryder Crosswell. So Loza's starting number 7. Ryder Crosswell is starting number 6. And Ryder Crosswell is from Palmerston North. He went to Palmerston North Boys High School, and he has been recruited by the Knights. I think it might have been at least last year. He was playing some under-16 games, maybe. Played a little bit for Danny Verk, but he's mainly I'm affiliating him with Palmerston North Boys High School. So he played under 17s or under 16s for the Newcastle Knights last year, and now he's playing under 19s for the Knights in an all Aotearoa halves combination. So again, Australia, most prestigious under 19 rugby league competition in Australia. Not only do they have a lot of Kiwi NRL juniors, but there's a starting halves duo combination from Aotearoa with Ryder Crosswell and Haami Loza for the Newcastle Knights, who also have Sasai Latu, who I think he went to Otahuhu College, Mangere East Junior. He is starting centre. He played a lot on the wing last year for the Knights junior teams. Now he is starting centre. And they also have Ezekiel Aiti, otherwise known as Ezekiel Whangaaiti. He is also from Christchurch. He is a Hornby junior who was connected to the Warriors last year, but now he's with the Knights and he is named on their bench. So all that is happening this weekend, and I'll be dropping more information, more notes about those Kiwi NRL juniors in our newsletter on Friday. But the number of youngsters from Aotearoa, men and women, I'm going to be following the under-19 women a lot more closely this year as well. They're only going up. They're only going up, and of course we got the whole Warriors stuff happening as well, which is pretty interesting considering the 2 halves for the Warriors, both youngsters from Aotearoa, and the 2 halves for the Knights, both youngsters from Aotearoa. But let's get a little bit deeper, because we got Winitana Patalaseo, he's from Wellington, Ryder Crosswell's from Palmerston North, Noah Jensen's from Auckland with Westlake Boys High School, and Haami Loza, I had seen something previously connecting him to Rotorua at a younger age, but he played most of his emerging footy in Auckland with De La Salle, Mangere East and Otara. So you got 4 young halves there, 2 different all Aotearoa starting half combinations. One of them's from Wellington, one of them's from Palmerston North, 2 of them are from Auckland, but you've also got someone like Bronson Rubin who's from Christchurch. That sums up the Kiwi NRL vibes right there. and that is the start of the Aotearoa Rugby League season.